In a previous training, we talked about transactional fundraising and how there is a much better way to fundraise using storytelling and engaging your donors and clubs in what Sertoma does with their gifts. This virtual workshop expands on this idea. How do we reach our goals? There are many challenges that come with fundraising, especially in a service organization like Sertoma. Fluctuating membership and donor figures, as well as disappointment over previously missed goals, can make it hard to feel motivated. However, there is a way to be successful, and that starts with changing our relationships with donors and clubs. So, what does that mean exactly? It means that we are focused on involving them in what we're doing. People want to know that we are doing good with the funds they trust us with. When we share the positive impact their gift has in communities all over the country, they are more likely to want to give. Let's start with how you can engage clubs. First and foremost, don't just call and ask for time to make the same old annual fund presentation. They've heard this for years and don't want to put their members through it again. Instead, focus on building a personal relationship. Introduce yourself, let them know that you're there to help and aren't just asking for money yet again. Find out what works best to communicate with them down the line. Some people prefer text, email works best for some, and others prefer a personal phone call. And try to set up a time to talk in the future. Remember, regular communications, at least monthly, is very important. This relationship is going to be an ongoing conversation that spans the course of your year. Your second time talking is really the beginning of your conversation about giving. Start with one of your favorite annual fund accomplishments. This could be something like a community grant project or one of our scholarship programs. The story should be short but evocative. Then, talk to them about their club by asking questions. What have they accomplished recently? What do they want to do in their community? And what programs do they support and help fund? End the call not by making an ask, but instead requesting a time to talk with their club. The facts gathered throughout your call will help you tailor your presentation. When making your presentation, make sure to let your clubs get to know you and why you're volunteering your time to talk with them. The presentation should be vibrant and energetic. Use your passion for Sertoma to talk about why you're excited about what we do and how the annual fund helps us do it. Your messaging should focus on mission. How we're using service to improve the lives of others in the communities we serve. If their club is involved in hearing health, make sure to especially highlight those programs. Expert tip: request a club donor list a week before your club visit. This can help you make personal connections and gives you the opportunity to publicly or privately thank and recognize them in person. Sertoma has sample annual presentations for you to customize and use. To get the latest version, reach out to Sertoma staff at 816-333-8300. So what does an annual fund gift do? It goes back to the communities where your donors and clubs work, live, and play. It helps improve hearing health in the United States and Canada and funds grants for hearing health organizations. It also provides scholarships to the deaf and hard of hearing, as well as graduate students studying audiology, speech pathology, and other related specialties. Annual fund gifts support national hearing health programs like A Sound Investment and Safe Ears. They change lives, and these are the impacts we should be sharing with our clubs. The key to truly engaging your clubs is communication, basically telling them what is going on and how their donations are being used. As we said earlier, you should be communicating with your clubs regularly, hopefully at least once a month. Use this time to send them things like annual fund stories, holiday greetings, check-ins about their fundraisers and community events, good news from other clubs, and personal stories from scholarship and grant recipients. The point is that there are all kinds of things to share without asking for money. Now that we've talked about engaging clubs, let's talk about working with donors. Just as with clubs, it's important to remember that the first time a donor hears from you shouldn't be about asking for money. It's still all about relationship building. During your first month as a mission specialist, you should strive to contact all your donors. You'll want to introduce yourself as their mission specialist and explain exactly what that means. Make sure to thank them for their latest donation and ask them about what national programs they like. And again, just like you did with clubs, find out how they'd prefer you communicate with them in the future. After your first call, you'll use individual communications with donors to keep them posted on what we're doing. How can you achieve that? Start with a simple thanks for speaking with you. Don't forget, a handwritten note can go a long way. Keep your conversations regular. The same touch points we covered with clubs will work here. Don't make your ask until after you've engaged with them a few times. They need to know where their money is going, and your work helps achieve that. Personalization is great, but some things, like holiday greeting, can be done as a bulk message. Just remember to use that BCC feature to keep their information private. And finally, Sertoma's publications, emails, and social media are great places to find things to share with your donor friends. An important reminder: reporting is part of your job as a mission specialist. These action reports should be completed each time you engage with a donor or club. This can be done on the Mission Specialist page in the Member Center at sertoma.org. You can also find additional training on this topic in our training center.
Finally, you have to engage yourself. Just as with anything, planning and preparation is important. Spend some time plotting out how and when you will engage with your clubs and donors. Here are a few questions you can ask yourself to help do this. When will I make my first calls to clubs? And when will I make my first calls to donors? When will I visit clubs in person? When do I hope to finish? How will I engage with each group? And who would make a great mission specialist after me? Remember, you are a lot more likely to work on your plan if you write it down. And don't forget, check your progress often. You are not alone in your fundraising endeavors. Sertoma staff and other mission specialists are here to help you plan, brainstorm ideas, and get your reports submitted. You can also find additional resources and training in the Member Center at sertoma.org.